Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? This is Lakers Talk with Gerald. This is going to be episode number 92. Appreciate everybody for joining. It has been a minute, everybody. It's been a minute since I posted, but we got some good things to talk about. As usual, we're talking about our Lakers, and we're going to talk about what's going on with them, what's happening inside this bubble. We are officially in the bubble, everybody. Officially, we are here. Lakers, when I say we, I mean the Lakers. We are here. We're in the bubble. Okay. There was talk of the bubble. There was talk of NBA coming back. When is it going to come back? Are we going to have it at all? They decided, okay, we picked Florida. We picked Disney World to be the place that we're going to host the whole entire NBA finish of the regular season and then the playoffs and the championship. Everything's going to be within this bubble. All the teams they invited, we're going to go to this bubble. 22 teams in all are going to go to this bubble. Lakers are officially there. Not all the players are there. Most of the players. We haven't seen Markieff Morris, but that wasn't one of the things that I listed in the topics that we're going to talk about. But we haven't seen him in the bubble. Well, that's something to talk about right there. Maybe I'm going to put that on the list, one of the topics. But the main topic is the Lakers are officially there. They are in the bubble. And things I want to talk about is what life is like right now, what we've seen so far in the bubble. What do we think the Lakers' chances are with playing this regular season and going forward trying to win a championship? What do we think the chances are of winning a championship in the bubble? Because think about it, it's different, everybody. Lakers they don't have home court advantage anymore. Even though they got first in the West, and they had Lakers fans, you're playing at the Staples Center, you got your fans there. Now you're playing in a bubble. No fans. Everybody has the same advantage in the bubble. Now you got to rely on your team and whoever the best team to play together and not relying on all the hypeness that you get from your fans supporting you. So we got to think about that. What are the Lakers' chances of winning the championship in this bubble? Now, before I start speaking on that, I want to just briefly go over what I plan to talk about in the other topics. So I also plan to talk about J.R. Smith signing. I also plan to talk about Rondo, his injury and what that means to the Lakers and what are their chances. And do we think he's going to come back and be able to, play again if we last long enough, which I expect we should. Also, just these, as I mentioned, J.R. Smith, we have so many different things to talk about, right? But I'm going to jump back on the main topic is what are the Lakers' chances? And I think my opinion is I think it still is great. Even though we don't have Avery Bradley, even though, it sucks. I really wanted Avery Bradley. I wanted our entire team to be there at full strength. But really, that's fantasy land. In this scenario, we're going through a global pandemic. We got COVID-19 been running rampant since March in the United States. It's been going on longer than that, probably. It was first introduced and we first heard about it in China and other places about November. And it could have been the United States. We don't know. But, basically what I'm saying is that it's a global pandemic. Even though I wanted best case scenario, every one of the Lakers to make it to this bubble. We have our full team, full camaraderie, everything that we had in the regular season. I was really just in dreamland. I was hoping for something that I shouldn't have been hoping for because, reality here is, guys got to think about their families. They got to think about what's going on. They got to decide if this is the most important thing to them. And, Avery Bradley has a family. He has a 6-year-old child that has some kind of respiratory, some illness or something that just he is susceptible to, respiratory diseases and things. Like, he doesn't do well with those. So he decided, for the best interest of his family, that he's not going to go continue to play the NBA season. He's not going into the bubble. He opted out. I can't blame him for that. I really can't. As much as I want him to be there, I can't blame him. Now, I really did think he brought a lot of great things to the table and really helped us in a lot of areas. His defensive tenacity, his mid-range shot, his 3-point shot. He brought something to the game that really, really did help us. Now, with that being said, I still feel that we are in a great, great position. I mean, think about it. Like, even during the regular season, he got hurt a few times and he missed a good amount of games. Even though every game that he was in, he started for us. The games that he wasn't in, KCP started in his place. So there's 20 games that KCP started, and in those 20 games, we were 17-3 in those games. So that's pretty outstanding. That's pretty great. So that's got to make you feel pretty good about where we stand without Avery Bradley. Even though Avery Bradley is a vital piece to us, without him, we're still pretty great. KCP does a great job. He doesn't do exactly what Avery Bradley does. He does something different, but we're still great with him. So I still feel good. I still feel good without Rondo. Without Avery Bradley. I still feel good. Now, we didn't talk about where we would be without Avery Bradley and without Rajon. I call him Rajon. I think he might go by Rajon Rondo. But I call him Rajon. So, without both of them, I don't know the stats on that. I don't. However, the eye test tells me that even without playoff Rondo, we should be okay. We should be just fine. And I say that because, all right, let's say he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, which who knows, it could be longer. But let's just say he is going to be out the full 8 weeks. So we have about 2 more weeks before they actually start playing these 8 regular season games. And let's say those 8 regular season games last another 2 weeks. So that's already 4 weeks right there. 4 to 5 weeks, something like that. So then you have first round of the playoffs, which we should be probably facing Memphis. Maybe Portland or New Orleans somehow squeaks in. We should be just fine without Avery Bradley and Rondo for a first round series, whether it's, I don't care if it's New Orleans, Memphis, or Portland. It doesn't matter. We should be great. We got, long as LeBron James and long as Anthony Davis are both healthy and both are there. And we still got a good veteran squad that we should be just fine. I mean, we got a bunch of guys that can come in and step in. As I mentioned, KCP should come in and take that starting role. I think the backup point guard role is going to go to Caruso. And after that, we got a handful of guys that's going to be coming off the bench. We got Dwight Howard. We got Kyle Kuzma. Morris, who, as I mentioned, he hasn't been there yet. But we also got a handful of other guys, and we got a bunch of guys. And we just signed J.R. Smith. And we also signed Deion Waiters. But then the rest of the bench, we got a lot of guys that have been there for us, and that can step in at any time. So I feel pretty good about our chances. I really do. I feel like the Lakers are going to be in prime condition. And so, all right. So I want to keep going with that scenario about, without Rondo and without Avery Bradley, right? So let's say first round of the playoffs, we should get through Memphis. We should get through Portland. Should be able to get through also, whether it be New Orleans, Portland, it doesn't matter who gets in the 8th spot. We're going to get through them. We don't need those guys, right? We're going to, knock through those guys. Second round is going to get a little harder. Not exactly sure what seeding is, but we should be able to knock those guys out too. So by that point, we should be well past the 8-week point. So Rondo should be able to come back, somewhere after the second round of playoffs. We should be able to easily make it through the second round of playoffs without Rondo. To be honest, I still feel great about our chances, even without Rondo or Avery Bradley. Just throughout the whole playoffs, just going through the championship, we got enough depth. We got LeBron James, still the greatest player in my mind on the planet right now, and I don't care what anybody says. He's man, we got him. We're great, and we got Anthony Davis. Man, he's so dynamic. Anthony Davis. I didn't realize how dynamic Anthony Davis was until he came to the Lakers, and I actually saw him on a day-to-day basis and realize how dynamic defensive wise, his instincts, his quickness, his just athleticism. There's so many intangible things that he brings to the table that I didn't realize that he just makes the Lakers that much greater. He might not be the person starting it all but he changes things on the court. Little things that you just don't see that really makes the Lakers great. All right. So great thing about playoffs is the rotation shortens. All right. The main guys, your main stars, play a lot more minutes and they affect the game a lot more, a lot greater than they do in the regular season. In the regular season, you might play a 10-man rotation, 11, 12-man rotation. In the playoffs, a lot of times it might shorten to 9 guys, 12 guys. And those last 4 guys or whatever out of that 9-man rotation probably only playing 15 minutes a game or something. Those main guys are playing most of those minutes. So LeBron James going to be playing a lot of big minutes in the playoffs. AD going to play a lot of big minutes in the playoff. We're going to make a great difference. So, man. So, all right, I'm looking at the comments here. How you doing, Roastmaster Glenn? I'm going to read your comment here. It says, as a video game fan, that would be an epic NBA 2K16 team just off on the bench. Okay, Rondo hurt or he decided not to play. So, I guess you haven't heard. Rondo in the second day or third day of practice, Rondo broke his thumb. Yep. So he is out for 6 to 8 weeks. He broke his thumb. So, what's crazy though about Rondo? Man, I do see a lot of great things in Rondo, but Rondo, he's been with the Lakers 2 years now and he has broken some part of his hand. This is the 3rd time that I can remember that he's broken some part of his hand. So man, I don't know what it is about his hands, but man, they are constantly breaking a finger, a hand fracture, something, and he's, been hurt a couple times. So yeah. Well, apparently it's something in the NBA, you can't always play through if it's like, it's a couple different levels, right? Of you can have a sprained finger, sprains and things like that. Those are the things that most people play through. There aren't many people that when you have a break, it's a break in the bone. And that is something that usually you can't play through. And so he has a break in the bone on his thumb, especially in the thumb. When you get the ball thrown to you, it hits your hand. The first thing it hits is your hand. So, yeah, those breaks are no joke. But supposedly it heals with he left the bubble and he's going to have surgery. Supposedly he'll be ready to play in 6 to 8 weeks. And that sounds like a short amount of time to me if there's a break, but that's what's coming from doctors and people that have the know and everything. But in the regular season, as I mentioned, he's been to the Lakers 2 years already, and this is the third time I remember he's had some kind of break or something like this with his hand. And each time they said the same thing, 6 to 8 weeks. And there's a couple times where it took longer than 8 weeks. It took like 10 to 12 weeks. So I hope this isn't the case. But hey, either way, I feel great about the Lakers' chances. But I'm happy that there is a chance that I believe we will last long enough that he will be able to come back and play. All right. So Roastmaster Glenn, he wrote, is Howard healthy now and some sort of enthusiasm to play during this? His mind game can be lacking, I find. I mean, to be honest, man, Howard has impressed me the most out of the people that we signed. He really has. And you can go back to some of the earlier episodes that when we first were thinking about who we're going to sign, I did my research and I said, man, we should sign Howard. Out of everybody that was available, we should sign Howard. He's the best. He's in physical great shape. Mentally, shape-wise, he has brought so much to the table. And I'm not worried about Howard. I'm actually happy that he decided to join the bubble because, he brings so much to the table. He's been so great for us this year, man. His mentality, his physicality, he's what helped boost us. And I think he's going to be there. He's not going to be lacking, I don't believe, in any kind of way. I think he's zoned in. He's with LeBron. He knows what opportunity is there for him right now. He knows he's playing with the greatest player on the planet. And he knows he has an opportunity of his life. So he's going to be playing out of his mind, I guarantee you, because he sees LeBron on a daily basis, how he comes ready, just, mentally, physically, always like just coming with the top of his game. So sometimes when you have a leader, when you have an alpha male, when you have a guy, when you can see that alpha doing things and he's great, you're going to step your game up. You're going to be great. You're going to fall in line. You're not going to be being goofy and doing stuff. You're going to fall in line. So, man, I'm just saying. So, hey, yeah, Roastmaster, I appreciate you, yeah, man, I've been actually doing this podcast. I started about almost 2 years ago. Now, the last probably 5 months, I've really been, I haven't done a lot of episodes lately because, when this pandemic hit, I kind of took time off to kind of just center myself and things like that. But yeah, I've done this now. It's 92. So all the episodes are there. Now, mind you, I just started from scratch. There's going to be some episodes where I'm outside and the sound is going to be a little windy, not the greatest. Even while I'm driving on the freeway, I've had some episodes. So it's going to be, but I keep it real to, as I'm speaking and giving these episodes, I'm talking about my experiences. I'm talking about my perspective. I'm giving you a little bit of motivation, little aspects. I'm talking about life experiences to giving you my background when I got started with the Lakers. But, yeah. So yeah, I appreciate you. Check out some of those older ones and let me know what you think. Of course. So yeah, appreciate you being active in this episode here. But let me read a couple more what you're saying. Let's see. Maybe he's a good opposite to LeBron's intensity and can be the fun-loving guy, but at the same bring the strong post and defensive game. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I think he can, and that's what he's been doing all season. I believe, and I think he's gonna keep that up. Exactly, Rodman. Yep, I do I kind of liken him to Rodman back when Jordan in their run. Just like Rodman was able to fall in line and bring all that he brought to the table. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like Howard's position with the Lakers is right now. And he's been doing that. He's been fulfilling that role. That's why I feel very strongly he has not let us down. And yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, man. Trying to create content during the pandemic. Hey, yeah. For me, some people did it better than I could, or at least I did up until this point. But I'm like, you know what? Let me get back to it. It's not going to stop me. It might have put me at a halt, but it was really just at a halt. That's it. I stopped for a little bit, but back at it, giving you that content that we need. So the next topic, that topic was without Avery Bradley, without Rondo. Next topic is the signing of J.R. Smith. Since Avery Bradley didn't come to the bubble, we had an open roster spot, so we went with J.R. Smith. Really, I can't blame our signing because that's probably the best option that we had to sign. Even though we think back to that finals game 1 where JR grabbed that rebound and should have put the ball back up and tried to score, but he dribbled out didn't realize that they didn't have the lead. And that blunder, and that ultimately caused them to lose that game and to eventually lose the series. He's going to be known for that from a long time. But at the end of the day, J.R. Smith is a nice player overall. Even though he's been out the league for a little bit, he hasn't been signed. He's not the most, he's not the most, he needs somebody to keep him in line. But he's a bucket, though. He gets buckets. He can play decent defense. He's about 6'6", give or take. And he can ball. At the same time, we don't need him to be that main guy. He's gonna be at the back of the rotation for the most part in the playoffs because we got a group of guys already that's been playing and giving us good play. It's gonna be Caruso going to get a lot of the minutes. KCP is going to get a lot of the minutes. Even Cook's going to come in and play some time. And JR is going to get some time now that Rondo is hurt. I think he's going to be the first person probably, over Dion. I think he's going to, over Dion Waiters. I think he'll probably get some minutes over him. But I think both of them are going to get probably a little bit of time, especially in those 8 games that we're going to play up to into the regular season, and that's going to probably give us some good information of how we're going to be able to use them, how they fit in, how they're going to be for us come the playoffs. So what else? Let's see. With less drunken escapades, we can only hope. Do you think LeBron will let him ever have the ball with less than 6 seconds? I mean, that's a good question. LeBron, and to answer that question, I would say yes, because at the end of the day, LeBron is about making the best play. You get in your spot, get to your corner, get to wherever you're at. LeBron is going to, whatever, he's going to read the floor. If he has to drive and everybody kicks in, he's going to throw the ball to the best position. He knows JR can hit that bucket. So, yeah, if he drives, and JR's in his position, he's going to kick it to him. And if it's less than 6 seconds, he knows that he can hit that bucket just like whoever else, whether it be KCP, whether it be, whoever's sitting in that spot that needs to be there, he's going to kick it to him. So, yeah, if the coach puts him in there and he's at that spot, yeah, he'll kick it to him because, if he's in the game, he trusts him. If he didn't trust him, he probably wouldn't even be on the team. LeBron would have said, nah, bro. He ain't coming to this team. And he has that much pull that he probably could have, made sure he didn't come to the team. So, yeah, he trusts him enough to pass the ball to him with less than 6 seconds. All right, so what else? LeBron seems to be able to vibe with those notoriously moody players. He can vibe because, as I was mentioned before, he's an alpha. It's one thing to just be an alpha, but it's other things to be the best player on the floor and on the planet. When you show it, walk it, talk it, show it every day, and you are bigger, badder, better than everybody else, you don't got no choice but to fall in line. I don't care who you are. You have no choice. When you could be the baddest kid, but when daddy come home with that belt, you're going to fall in line. You ain't got no choice. When mama, you're going to be acting out when mama's there. Mama going to be yelling and screaming at you. You're going to be acting your ass off. But as soon as daddy come home with that belt and he's bigger, stronger, and he shows you he whoops your ass, he walks in the door whooping your ass. He ain't asking no question. Ain't no sympathy. He ain't caring that you crying. He just whooping your ass. And so you fall in line because daddy ain't got no emotions. Daddy is about that action. And that's LeBron James. LeBron James is daddy. Yep, I said it. LeBron James is daddy. So yeah, that's why he's able to work with notoriously quote unquote moody players because, you know, he's daddy. He comes in and you better. You either A, you ain't on the team. You know, I got pulled. I'm the best player and, you know, my name is what it is. LeBron James. So let's see, Howard, Rondo, J.R. Smith all have a reputation of being moody and tough to live with. Once again, like I said, man, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, look, you got LeBron. You just got that center. He's like centering everything. He's in axis that they're all rotating around, man. And that's why LeBron is the best player in the NBA. And that's what people don't realize, man. LeBron makes everybody better. He really does. You just got to be able to do your job. And they already know that LeBron could, you know, take the big haul. And so, yeah, man. No, I am not an accredited Lakers reporter. I am actually just a long-time Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan since I was 12 years old. Been keeping up with them since I lived in Long Beach, and Lakers won back-to-back championships with, you know, Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, AC Green, James Worthy, man, Cooper, man, all those players. I remember back when it was 80, I think it was 87, 88, back-to-back championships, and that's when I just got hooked and fell in love with the Lakers. And I've been a big Lakers fan ever since. So I've been riding with them strong ever since then. Directly involved. Okay. No, I mean, wasn't directly involved, but I'm telling you, man, that you can, and if you go back and listen to my podcast starting from day one, I've even had some podcasts with someone like my dad, my sister, my brothers, and they've even said like, man, we thought you loved the Lakers more than you loved your family, because I lived Lakers, you know, Lakers was my life. So, yeah, man, I kept up big time. I was reading stats and box scores after every game and buying players cards and analyzing and reading all these stats. So yeah, I keep up with them. So that's why I started this podcast. My goal was to, at least do 100 episodes. So even though, the pandemic slowed me down, we started it right back up. So here we are. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, big time. You're a sports nerd, you said. All right. You're not even a Lakers fan. Okay. Well, I'm glad you joined. I appreciate you for joining us live. Most of my episodes aren't even live. Most of them, I really just been trying this the last few ones. Most of them are just ones I'll record and then I'll just post afterwards. I'll edit maybe a little bit. So this is no edit. There's no kind of edit whatsoever. I'm just going live off the top. And of course, I'll just save it and then I'll add it as episode 92 of Lakers Talk with Gerald. Inside the Bubble with the Lakers. So, all right. So the next topic that I wanted to get to, so the ones I covered so far was like the Lakers' chances of winning the championship, the signing of J.R. Smith. The next one was supposed to be the injury of Rajon Rondo, which I really haven't talked. Well, we did talk about that. So we talked about, he injured his thumb. He's supposed to be out he broke his thumb supposedly. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks after surgery. Hopefully he will be able to join us by that, I don't know, second round of the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be good at the end of the day. I think we'll be great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about with the Lakers is our role players. Who's going to be the guys to step up? I think, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this, right? We already know about LeBron James. I think Anthony Davis, all-stars, are going to be there. They're going to do their thing. The other guys, I mean, we got some guys that really have potential to change the game. Rookie Kyle Kuzma was an animal, man. Was a beast. He was something else. If we can even get half or 3/4 of rookie Kyle Kuzma, damn, I don't know what any other team's going to do with us. And I recently saw some of Kuzma's form, because after if you guys don't know, his rookie season, he was balling out, man. He had no fear, no hesitation. He would just shoot, and he was knocking down shots, and he was looking like he had potential to be all-star. Like, we just got this amazing steal. And then when LeBron came, he kind of, I don't know, his game changed. He didn't quite play the same. He didn't have the same role. He didn't get as many touches. And it seemed like he kind of sometimes went into his shell and wasn't that aggressive player that we kind of saw. And this is all my opinion. But that's kind of what hindered him. His shot got a little more shyer. And then he ended up going to that guy that was known for coaching, changing your shot I think he was called Lethal Shooter. And he changed his shot altogether. And then I didn't like the way he shot. It was more mechanic after that point. He had to think more about it. And it seemed like his shot got worse. His 3-point percentage went down. His shots were missing. So something that I saw recently, I saw some videos of him and LeBron shooting from the corner in a bubble, and it looks like that same form that he had before Lethal Shooter, and he was knocking it down. And if he went back to his previous shot, I'm all about that, because he was killer with that previous shot. He didn't think about it. He would just blast. And that was it. And he was pretty damn great with that. So if we get him playing anywhere near like he was, man, that's going to be the X factor. But we got other guys that can step in. Man, KCP was playing so great his defense and offense, the last so many months of the season. And man, he's going to be there. Caruso, has been playing so great defensive wise too. And he gelled so well with LeBron. They said his numbers with LeBron are one of the top combos in the NBA as far as efficiency and a few other things. So, I mean, we got guys. We got so many veteran players. We don't have one rookie that's on our active roster. We got our two guys that we brought. We got Talon Horton Tucker, that he's not on the active roster, but he is one of the 17 guys. And we got, Antetokounmpo's brother, Costas, if I'm even saying that right, but we got him also. So, but those are guys that probably aren't going to be suiting up unless there's an injury and the Lakers have to go past that. So, but other than that, we got nothing but veterans. We got Quentin Cook. We got so many different players that can step in, that are veterans. All right, so let's see. Let's read what else you're saying. As someone who got into podcasting via live cast is great for adding a following. All right, appreciate it. He's a great player. That dude's got game. Yeah. I heard an interview with him on Green. Spurs, Raptors, now Lakers. I can't remember first name. Danny Green, who you're talking about, I'm guessing. Smart kid, very much a student of the game. His podcast, The Green Room. How can you not improve when you're watching LeBron and Davis? practice every day. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Danny Green, The Green Room. Yeah, man. I haven't watched that one, but I have seen kind of some of his ones, and I like watching any of those ones where I'm watching NBA players and they get their podcasts. I'm all about watching that and getting that insight information that we don't normally get. So that's going to be a lot more popular coming up, because you got those other guys, a few other guys that got podcasts, ex-NBA players. I believe the other one, Steven Jackson, I believe, their podcast doing good. But yeah, man. All right, Raps fan. All right, appreciate you, man. Hey, appreciate you being a Raptors fan and checking out Lakers Talk with Gerald. Yeah, man. I'm one of those people that I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm a realist at the same time. I'm not going to sit here and say other teams are garbage. I'm not going to say other players are garbage when they're not, just because I'm a Lakers fan. I'm going to try to keep it as real as I can. And I'm going to acknowledge that, yeah, other teams are great. I'm like, oh man, we might have to worry about them. Or man, this player is great. We're going to have a hard time with them. But right now, I realize what we have. We got LeBron James, and I was so damn excited, happy when we got him and were able to get him, because, even when Kobe was on the team, it was at one point where LeBron passed Kobe. And I'm a Lakers fan. A lot of Lakers fans don't want to hear this, and they damn me for saying it. But at one point, LeBron had passed Kobe. Even when Kobe was on the Lakers and LeBron was on Miami or Cleveland, I was like, man, Kobe is great, but man, LeBron, man, he just got size. He's got this, he's got that. He's got the entire package. So it's one of those things that, LeBron, man, he's great. He's got it. He brings a whole lot to the table. He can change a franchise. So did Kobe, but just LeBron just takes it to another level, I believe. And LeBron's in his 17th season now. You got to think about that too. LeBron's in his 17th season, 35 years old. Man, I think he was averaging 25, 10.6 assists and something like 7 point something rebounds. And he could have been averaging more points if he wanted to. He's trying to be the facilitator. If he wanted to, he can shoot more shots, take over the game, and do that kind of thing. But he's still gelling. He's still playing on a great level. All right, Roastmaster Glenn. All right, man, active participator. I appreciate that. So let's see what she says. It says sports nerdom overrules sports fandom. All right, in your opinion, and I know it may not be informed enough to back it up, who do you think will get out of the East? Oh, man, I've been watching the NBA. I think I have a good enough opinion to be able to talk about the East. Trust me. I know you're a Raptors fan, so I'm going to start with the Raptors. To be honest, man, and I'm going to give you guys so much props that everybody's not talking about, man. All right, so before Kawhi Leonard got to the Raptors, you guys had the best record in the East the year before that. I think you guys had like a 60 win or something season before Kawhi got there, right? And yeah, it was something close to that, 59 games. Okay, but you guys were, I think you had first place in the East, I believe, but 59 games. So you weren't a sorry team before Kawhi got there. You know what stopped you? You know what happened to you guys is LeBron James. He was you guys' kryptonite. He was the one. You guys would win so many games, but you go against LeBron, and he would turn into playoff LeBron. He would just come in there and just dominate, and that's you guys' downfall. And then, of course, they trade for Kawhi Leonard, and at the same time, LeBron goes to the West Coast. Exactly. LeBron goes to the West Coast, and now, Kawhi is good. Kawhi is great, but people all kind of downplay Siakam. They're like, oh, Siakam was just this guy. He wasn't an all-star, but he did great that season. He was big in the playoffs. He was big in the finals. Siakam was huge, and they try to act like Kawhi did it with no other all-stars, no other great players. Like, no, he had great players. Who was that point guard, that dude that was knocking down all them shots? Man, he was good. They had a lot of great players. They had Danny Green. They had a lot of great players. They had Marc Gasol. They got freaking Marc Gasol halfway through the season. They had a lot of ball. They had what was the other dude that they got from used to play with OKC. Man, they had a great team. So they can't try to say that. So look, so I'm going with that is saying that the Raptors, after Kawhi left, now they still had a great record. They still are balling in the East without Kawhi Leonard. So I think they still got great experience. I think their biggest foe in the East is going to be Boston Celtics. Now, it's going to be between Boston Celtics and the 76ers. It just depends. The 76ers had a great home record. I think they only had 2 or 3 losses. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. You were absolutely right. The Bucks. I'm sorry. The Bucks are number 1. Excuse me. I don't know what I was thinking, but the Bucks, yes. Bucks are number 1. And then the Celtics, and then the 76ers. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's going to come down, really, I believe, to change that saying what I just said. It's going to come down to, I believe, between the Bucks, Raptors, or Celtics. But I think that the Bucks actually, I'm not just saying this because you're a Raptors fan, but I'm saying that the Raptors, I believe, have the best chance to upset the Bucks because they have the most experience. They have a team that's been playing together, a group of guys that's been playing together for a good while, and they've been there. They've kind of done that. And Siakam's balling. They play good team ball. Like, they pass. It's not about just one player. That's what makes them so dangerous. And I think they got the best chance. Now, the team that got the second best chance, I would say, is Boston, because they're such a young, great defensive team. They got ballers too. They're about full team basketball playing, and that's what makes those 3 teams the best, the greatest. So I think it's going to come down. Even though 76ers, they still got, they got great players, and they got their team. I think it's just going to really, I don't think they're really ready. I don't think they got enough leadership, things like that. It's going to come down to the Bucks in Toronto, to be honest, and maybe the Celtics. So, I mean, we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. It really is. All right, let's see. You say, on that note, and you may have mentioned this earlier, who do you think proves to be the biggest challenge to the Lakers getting out of the West? Segue back to the Lakers topic. So I actually haven't talked about this in this episode. I haven't talked about who the Lakers' biggest challenge in the West. So, yeah, at the end of the day, the biggest challenge is the Clippers. Yes, the biggest challenge is the Clippers. But at the same time, there's some other strong teams in the West. Houston is a problem too. James Harden and Westbrook are a problem. That's a problem too. So whoever faces them, now hopefully the Lakers don't have to play those teams into the Western Conference Finals. It depends on how the seeding goes, but if the seeding stays as it is, the Lakers are first place in the West, Clippers are second, Houston I think is somewhere like 4th or 5th. So the way it lays out, the Lakers would play Memphis in the first round, and then they would play it wouldn't be Houston in the second round. It would be something like Utah in the second round or some other team. And so the Clippers would have to play Houston in the second round. And so it'd be one of those teams that would have to win out to play the Lakers in the conference finals. So it would be between most likely the Clippers would get through Houston. And then, so yeah, it would be the Clippers. It would come down to that showdown. And the Clippers are formidable. They are pretty damn great. But I feel like we are pretty damn great too. And I think we got that man, LeBron James. And I feel like, that's enough to push us over the edge. So, all right. Do the Clippers have the depth to match up if the big two are limited to normal person numbers? Yeah, I do feel like the Clippers have the depth. They have great depth too. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, each one of them are no joke. Each one of those guys are big time players, but they're not LeBron James. They're big time players, and they got great depth. But at the end of the day, I think when the playoffs are, none of them have 8 straight NBA finals under their belt that LeBron James has. None of them have none of them have 3 finals MVPs. I know Kawhi has 2 finals MVPs, but he doesn't have 3. And he wasn't the main guy when he got that first one. He just happened to have a pretty good finals. I think he averaged 18 points a game or something, and he got MVP with the Spurs, when he was pretty young. LeBron was the man on every one of his teams, finals MVPs. He's got 4 regular season MVPs. LeBron James is that man, he's a beast. He's been to something like, over half of his years in NBA have been in the NBA finals. They don't have that type of experience. And when you got that on your team and everybody else gets more confidence, everybody on your team, they feel like they're so much better. You're so much more confidence. And that intimidation, when you're playing against that guy and you can't do nothing with him, when LeBron starts imposing himself on players, players are going to shrink in that moment. They're going to be like, they're going to come out all hyped in the beginning, the first quarter. They're going to come out hyped, playing their best. But when LeBron starts imposing himself on you, they're going to shrink. They're going to be like, oh, damn, I'm trying to play him as hard as I can, but this dude ain't no joke. This dude is the real deal. Like, okay, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to sit down because this dude, and then that's what I feel like what's going to happen with the Lakers Clippers. Clippers do have a really deep team. They do have a lot of veterans, and they do have a veteran coach. They really do have and they got Jerry West consulting. They got a deep squad, and it's not just the squad, it's the coach is deep. Man, that coach, he's a great coach. Jerry West, they really got and that's what makes them great, because they got a bunch of they got a bunch of dogs on their team. They got ballers on their team. They got a deep team, and Lou, Lou, and they got a deep squad. But I think that'll be our biggest threat coming out of the West. All right, what you say? It says it's been shown you can limit both their offensive numbers, but that is like 17, 8, 6 assists. But still 34 points from your stars make it tough to win playoff games. He said Jerry West is a traitor. Yeah, man. Love Jerry West, man. I would say about Jerry West, though, what I heard that the previous owner, I heard that he didn't want to give Jerry West. Apparently, they were butted heads, and he didn't want to give Jerry West certain controls or something like that. And so I think that's why Jerry West eventually left the Lakers. He left the Lakers a long time ago. So it's hard to call him a traitor because he left so long ago. He went to Memphis and he made Memphis better. He went to Golden State. He made Golden State better. Now he's with the Clippers. It sucks that he went to the Clippers, but Magic didn't want, I think Magic had the opportunity to get him, but Magic didn't want to because Magic wanted to run the show. Magic wanted that. He wanted to get the glory. And I think he knew if he brought Jerry West on board, Jerry West would have got that glory. So that's why he didn't bring Jerry West on board. And so that's why Jerry West, I think, went to the Clippers. So, oh yeah, Danny Ainge. Okay. Yeah, I did not know. He said that Danny Ainge, the GM of the Celtics. So I knew Danny Ainge even before he was a GM of the Celtics, back when he was with the Celtics back in the day, playing our old school Lakers with Magic, back in the day. So I still remember those times, him as the player and all that stuff. But yeah, I didn't know that he played for the Toronto Blue Jays in Major League Baseball. So didn't know that. But that's a cool little fun fact. So far in this episode 92, I'm at 50 minutes and 55 seconds. Roastmaster Glenn, do you want to somehow jump on, call in or anything like that? I've never done a call in on this live, but do you want to be a call in before I limit this for maybe 5 minutes or so? Let me know. We can jump you in here. All right. Hello. How you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm great, man. Welcome to
It's been a fun show. Very fun show. Loving it.
I appreciate you going in here and answering all the questions and everything and just giving me all that insight so far.
Well, this is probably your first time going live. I find with live shows, it's way more enjoyable if you actually can be kind of a part of it and ask questions. Otherwise, I might as well just listen to it post recorded.
Right. You're right. And I'm kind of just feeling that and learning it out myself.
Man, you kill it with the live stream. You could do this on a daily basis, and I guarantee you have tons of people come in and want to chat sports with you if you did it all the time. You're really good at it.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Like I said, I'm just coming off the top. I'm sitting here at home, and it was kind of last minute. I decided to do this live tonight. It's 2 a.m. where I'm at, but I'm sure it's. And where are you at? Are you in?
I live in Saskatchewan, Canada, so it's above North Dakota. It's pretty much smack dab in the middle of Canada, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Well, I appreciate you let me know that. I might start doing more of these lives, but so tell me, you said so you're a Raptors fan, so tell me.
Yes.
A little bit about your. How'd you become a fan? I know this is Lakers talk, but I'm curious about your background.
Well, I mean, I think I was I'm 33 now, so I was 8 or 9 when the Raptors came about, and I mean, they were nothing, but as you can imagine, at about 12 or 13, there was this basketball guy that could slam dunk named Vince Carter. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So, that dunk contest with it's Ova and Shaq going nuts and everybody on the bench going nuts, that was pretty much the start of my Raptors fandom. And then they started making the playoffs and stuff, so I remember their first time to make the playoffs and they played the Knicks. So it kind of just went from there. And of course, as I got older, the Raptors started to be good, and they were crappy for a long time, so I stopped paying attention more, and then they got good again. And then they won the championship last year, and I damn near crap myself.
I got to ask you, that had to be the most amazing feeling to be out there, for them winning that championship, just being a fan. I mean, I felt for you guys just man, that had to be a great feeling. Tell me
I couldn't believe it.
Championship.
Okay, so I was at work and I couldn't watch the game per se, so I just had the Google following it on the phone or whatever. So when there was when they had that controversial call with 7 seconds left, that was the most agonizing 10 minutes of my life. I'm watching this and it's 7 seconds left and it's for eternity. I'm what is going on? This is going forever. They're up by was it 2? About 7 seconds to go. I'm oh God, come on, please. So then they won, and I work in a kitchen, so and the front guy was kind of following around, and not even really thinking that I was running out into the middle of a restaurant. I ran out there. They fucking did it. They fucking won. The Raptors are champions. And I'm just screaming. I looked and was like, oh, whew, thank God there's no customers in here.
That's amazing, man. Like that's cool as hell. I feel you on that because I just think back Lakers championship back in the day when we won it. It's been a long time. It's been, we're spoiled. I'm spoiled as a Lakers fan. I'm used to so many years, but that feeling, like you just said right there, though, that I feel that though. So that's great, man.
I know the parade was kind of a bit iffy from what I've heard. I mean, there was a shooting at it for one.
I mean, you guys got the whole country,
Yeah, that was one of the things when Ujiri took over the Raptors. He made a point of saying, "No, this isn't Toronto's team. You're playing for a goddamn country. Like, don't think that the entire country isn't following you." And so they actually, can't remember what playoff party it was, but they had like 8 or 9 different viewing parties across Canada, and they actually, before the game, they actually showed all the players in the dressing room across Canada of all these thousands upon thousands of people across Canada, all ready to watch them play. And they're like, don't think that you're just playing for a city. You're actually playing for a country. You can go play for any other team. You're playing for your city. When you play for the Raptors, you're playing for a country.
Wow. Yeah. Nah, that's deep. That's big right there.
I know. I've heard. I can't remember. It might have been actually Danny Green, and he was saying like the first time they went and played the Pistons, which is in Detroit's like hour and a half from Toronto, so they're really close by. So you get a lot of the commuting Raptors fans going there, and he said it was crazy because like. Throughout the game, he thought he was actually at home because you could hear the "Go Raptors, Go" chants over all the top of the Pistons because it was half full of Raptors fans, and he's like, "Wow!" And then with the San Antonio, there's people singing "Oh Canada" in the stands during like the national anthem. He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Where the hell do those people come from?"
Right, man. They travel, right? You guys all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man. So, man, great insight. So appreciate you for giving me all that. Definitely. I'm at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the NBA. I'm a Lakers fan, number one, but I watch and I keep up with other things too. And I don't know, I don't always get or know all the insight things, but I try to keep up. I look at the stats, I look at what's going on, and I try to keep up. But yeah, man.
Are you also one of those big stats guys to where like you're like constantly on NBA.com and you're like, oh, I wonder who's in the top 10 for points per game, and then you get down the rabbit hole of looking at all these obscure efficiency stats that you don't quite understand, but they look good.
Well, yeah, no, I'm
So,
always.
his offensive efficiency is 89.4%. Not sure what that means, but certainly sounds good.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of, I don't know all those like little intricate stats, like when the efficiency and this and that, but I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, and I'm constantly keeping up with Lakers and basketball. Every time I hear something about, comparisons of players and they say certain things, the first thing I do is, hey, let me look up the stats of this player. Let me look up that. I'm going to go break it down and like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize when they're breaking down certain things, I got to go look and compare. And so
Yeah.
I'm all about as soon as I looking up and learning new little facts and stats.
I find sports so interesting, and I kind of like basic math. I mean, don't get me started on like the math with letters involved, but I like the basic math and like stats and stuff. So I've always been kind of a sports or a stats nerd for one. So baseball is always really fun to pay attention to because they have so many stats. And if you're a stats nerd, baseball is the game you need to be paying attention to. So I was always into that, and I was always into the GM modes on video games. So I think I actually became more of a basketball fan through playing like NBA video games than I actually was before the video games, because all of a sudden like I knew all the players, and it's like, oh yeah, like this guy turns out to be really good in GM mode, and because he was like the first overall pick. It was like Greg Oden. I remember having him in a video game, and he was phenomenal. It's like 4 years later, he's not even playing. It's like, wow, that was sure a bust. That video game's a classic now because he's actually good in it.
That's a really good point you make there. And I was never like lately, when I was young, I was into video games and playing all that, but you're absolutely right though. The GM mode, and you can play, and it kind of puts you to Like you can play with players and be the GM. Players can learn a lot by and get interested. I can get super interested playing those.
Yeah, it actually, because I mean, I always played basketball, but growing up in Canada, it wasn't like, and I mean, the Raptors weren't around for the first part of my childhood, so like basketball wasn't really a thing. I mean, you played in school, but other than that, it wasn't really something that was like driving TV or sports TV in Canada per se. Like, I mean, they might have like the finals simulcast or something, but a lot of the time they just have it on the American network and you just watch it there. But once the Raptors started becoming a thing, all of a sudden it's like you're getting 8-9 million people in a country of 30 million people watching NBA Finals game.
Wow.
It's like, wow, like literally a third of the country was watching that game.
That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. So that's why I was definitely watching. I was watching the parades and the celebration and all that. I didn't hear about the shooting and anything like that, but that's probably something that was kept local. It was just one or two.
They tried to keep, well, they kind of shut it down a little bit, like, but there was like a bunch of people that were trampling stuff, and like they had to have the MC kind of pause things for a little bit, so like they could try and get like paramedics in to take care of these people. But again, there's like 4 million people in this like on the street, so it was like almost impossible for any emergency people to even get at people. And then because the parade took like 12 hours, there was like, because it was like 95 degrees Fahrenheit out. So then like there's people drinking from 10 a.m. to like 2 p.m. and like fainting because they got like heat stroke and stuff. It wasn't the most smooth run parade in the world for sure. Well, but when I was listening to Danny Green's, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when I was listening to Danny Green's podcast after the parade, he was talking about how like the MC was kind of like asking who wants to talk. Marc Gasol was all excited. Danny Green goes over to him. He's like, "You cannot let him talk. That man is so drunk right now."
I saw videos of him just downing beers on the bus, the double-decker bus. Like,
I guess he bit a couple people, and he was just like a ridiculously drunk big man.
Hey, look, they were just celebrating, and I loved seeing that. I loved just seeing them having a great time. He got there mid-season or something like that, I think, and that was big.
Yeah.
That pickup we didn't talk about, but that was a big pickup by them. Mid-season.
That was, and Valanciunas was like a beloved player. Like that was one of the things that Ujiri got a lot of credit for, making those really tough decisions when putting that team together last year, because he traded away DeMar DeRozan, who was beloved by the fan base. He was beloved in Canada. He did tons for the community. He was all about like in the summertime going across Canada and doing like the Raptors camps and stuff like that. Traded him away for Kawhi Leonard, for someone that, and they didn't even know if he would actually even play for him. He would play 9 games the year before. Trade deadline comes around. Another player that was like homegrown and fan favorite, Jose Valanciunas. Boom. Right. Trade him for Marc Gasol for that veteran presence. Like, that takes balls. Like, you kind of piss off your fan base when you do it, but if you win, everybody forgives you.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, if you win and things work out right, they're like, okay, we liked you, but we like that guy. He was loved, but we're winning. This guy was the right.
Yeah, we'll take the championship over the player. We're not that concerned. We're all selfish in a way.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. We get guys, like we got all these young guys that we were homegrown guys, and we had to train them to get AD. But loved them, but we're like, but Anthony Davis is a perennial all-star, and we gotta do what we gotta do.
Speaking of one of those young guys that you guys trade away, whatever happened to Lonzo Ball? Is he even in the NBA anymore? Is he just like riding the end of the bench just above G League or D League?
No, he's doing very well actually. He's
Oh, is he?
Yes.
At least his dad shut up finally.
Yeah, his dad shut up, but so he's on New Orleans. So they got Zion Williamson, B.I. Brandon Ingram, he was balling out.
Oh, yeah.
He became an all-star his first year, but Zion, like the connection, Lonzo Ball and Zion connection is like electric, man. Just you remember when? Well, I don't know, you're not a Lakers fan, but with Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma, like their rookie season, like Lonzo Ball was constantly getting all these great assists to Kyle Kuzma. Like, that's what with
in all honesty, Lonzo Ball's dad annoyed me so much. I couldn't even like pay attention to him because it reminded me of his dad and saying that he beat Jordan 1-on-1. I'm like, oh, just no, don't want it. Sorry, your dad ruined it for me.
Yeah, his dad was just stupid. Like, he was always like a quiet guy, but at the end of the day, he got better when he changed his shot. He had like this weird looking shot when he was with the Lakers. He changed his shot.
Yeah.
3-point percentage is way better than it was before. He
Interesting.
Yeah, he improved his 3-point shooting. He's been doing pretty well with them, and I think
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he wasn't one of those guys that had one of those like dumbass parents that was just overly loud and overly shamelessly promoting you, and then they just kind of flake out after because they're so sick of it. So I'm glad he's actually doing well, because it would really suck if his dad kind of just ruined his career for him by over pumping his tires.
Well, he eventually kind of spurned his dad. He kind of was like, at one point, he said he's not representing Big Baller no more. He stopped wearing the shoes. He told his dad he's not doing it. So he kind of broke away from his dad.
I wonder if I wonder if there's some people in his ear saying, your dad's making you look like an idiot here. People are going to want you because your dad's around, so you better find a way to put a couple of feet of distance in between you two.
Well, it was a couple things, yeah. Like the guy that his dad worked closely with had screwed him. I forget the guy's name. He was part owner in a Big Baller brand. He basically was funneling a bunch of his money out, and so I think it was like suing him.
Oh, embezzling. I think it's embezzlement, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a company, I think.
That, so
I'm no lawyer, but
yeah, it was a guy. I forget his name, but he was embezzling his money, and he sued him for a couple $1 million. And not only that, Lonzo ended up revealing that the shoe kept breaking down. He had to change the shoe like 3 times a game, and that's why he wasn't wearing other shoes, because those Big Baller brands did very good quality. And
yeah.
So at the end of the day,
weren't they charging like $500-$600 for those things too when they started coming out?
Yeah, they were.
Like, did they like just price those things like they were like Jordans or something, or Under Armour?
And I don't hate him for that, because he's on for the girls, so he's trying to make it he's making a name for it, and that brings attention. Everybody, I don't hate him for that, because you think about it, there's a bunch of other shoes. There's shoes you go buy, and there's $1,200 shoes. There's $2,000 shoes. People are buying those shoes, and it's all because of the name and the hype and everything else. So
yeah, it's true. That's true. Well, I'll let you close out your podcast, because I don't think you probably want to go for 3 hours. And if we keep talking, we will go the full 3 hours.
Yeah, no, unless we're going to turn into the Joe Rogan podcast. They go about 3 hours on these things. But,
well, that's true.
No, yeah, I don't
Next
have
time.
sponsorship, and I don't get the money that they do. But hey, you never know. We keep, Hey, but no, I appreciate you joining and just calling in, being the first. You are the very first call in with on my episode Lakers Talk with Gerald. So if I blow up,
are you gonna do this again?
What's that?
Are you gonna do this again? It's a live thing.
Oh, definitely. I would definitely do live again. I think this is
all right. Well, I hit the follow button, so I'll hear about it. You go on late enough that I'll be able to catch it too.
Yeah, definitely favor me.
It's evenings.
I'm on, and I'll kind of put things out when I'm doing another one. So I appreciate you giving great input and me on this episode.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for talking to me, and have yourself a wonderful night. And I'll stick around for the closing.
Have a good night. All right. Appreciate Roastmaster Glenn for calling in, being the first call in on my live Lakers Talk with Gerald episode 92. Man, it took 92 episodes. We finally, I did probably only my 3rd or 4th live. All the other lives really were just random, and I just did them probably for like 15, 20 minutes. This one, wow, it's already an hour and 10 minutes that I've been going with this one. But the whole time, he has actually been participating and actively texting, and I was reading and just going back and forth with him with his different questions and just interacting the whole time. So yeah, appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you very much for checking me out and just being a part of this. And I'm definitely going to continue to do some live episodes. I think I'm just gonna keep doing them live, and then going with participation. I kind of, like you said, I think I kind of thrive a little better with the live kind of experience versus just doing recording it and doing then posting it. So, all right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. You guys can find me on Spotify, iTunes. I even post them on YouTube. With this, I'm going to go ahead and post the audio on YouTube. I'm not going to have a video. Eventually, I'm going to start doing a video there too. But go ahead and check me out. Episode 92, Lakers Talk with Gerald. And that's going to wrap it up. I'm